In today's equity index futures markets, let's take a look at the S&P 500 future as we close out the week. With the S&P 500 future realizing some selling pressure today, we did see it down better than 2%, currently around the 3,008 level. Now, I can tell you when you look at the range today, 29.92 half was the low end of the range, so we're off the lows, but certainly much lower than where we started the day, which is around 3,070. We did see a high intraday of 3,082. So again, a 3% peak to trough range there, and with the S&P 500 futures settling right around this 3,008 level, there is about $12 of premium in those futures relative to fair value. So at least they did appear to get marked up on the close as we saw some readjusting of positions. Looking at today's activity, the drivers, first and foremost, I think it was the release of the Fed stress test yesterday on the banks. The stress tests, for the most part, were pretty much as expected, but the Fed did basically indicate that they see some trouble moving forward for the banks if they continue with the buybacks and the dividend increases. So they put those basically on hold for the time being. Market really wasn't expecting that. Disappointing news for the banks. I think that was really the catalyst for why we saw the tone change today. We did see the S&P futures fight through that initially, but then we had some data this morning. Couple that with the COVID-19 storyline continuing to evolve, where we're seeing states now starting to roll back the reopening measures. And I think those factors just were too much for the S&P 500 futures to carry forward, and we saw selling pressure not only there, but across all the other index futures as well. Looking at the trends in place, 200-day moving average on the S&P 500 future is 311 a half, basically 311 half. So we closed just below there today. So I think that's, from a technical standpoint, a little bit of disappointment. We'll have to see if we are able to hold this level or if this is going to be a turning point for further downside next week. Couple that with the activity we did see in the options markets today. We saw a pickup in activity on the put side, where you highlighted the 3,000 line and the 2,900 line. That's where your big activity was from the put side. So an increase in put activity as we close out the week as well.